Shreyas from the Film and Media Council. Today, we have with us our esteemed guests Nazneen Bhatia and Mr. Anshul Adhikari, who are our guests for the FMC Weekend. First of all, welcome to IIT BHU. I hope you all are enjoying your time here.
Very much so. Thank you for having us.
So, first of all, I'd like to know that how did you develop your interest in the field of cinematography?
Well, for me, I'll speak for myself. Both my parents were a part of the film industry. They were writers, producers and directors. So the essence of film was always around the vicinity. It was always in the environment. So I would have to say that it was because of my parents that I was introduced to the medium. And then I had my own journey after that.
Sir?
Well, I did my bachelor's in mass media and communication. And we had theories and practical, where the 100-mark paper would be divided into 50 marks theory and 50 marks practicals. And we had the option of actually shooting all our practicals as videos. Also, after my 10th, I'd learned how to do 3D animation and compositing. And I think that added it further when after my graduation, I started working on film sets as an assistant director. And now we are making our own films.
So, growing up, did you have any role model or someone you looked up to?
A wise man once said, "I don't roll with models."
So, both of you are quite successful in your fields. It must have taken a lot of struggle. Could you tell us a little about your journey?
Well, I wouldn't say it was a struggle. It wasn't a struggle because one studied for it. I went to the University of Auckland in New Zealand. I did a film degree. So when I came back, you already had you were one up. You had on the priority list, you had a little bit of I would say a little push because you had already studied the subject as opposed to not having to do so. So I wouldn't say that there have been any struggles per se because no, I wouldn't say that I had any struggles. There was a lot of learning, there were a lot of challenges, there were lots of things that you had to take care of on the spot, but I wouldn't want to determine or deem that as a struggle per se.
Okay, so is there any one particular moment from your career that you would say that it is your favorite moment and you'd like to share with us?
This particular moment where we've actually introduced our film to such intelligent students from IIT BHU. And I think this is a very interesting moment where so many students are interested in a new form of filmmaking.
Documentary filmmaking.
Documentary filmmaking especially. And I thought it was very interesting post the screening to see that students actually have questions, technical questions regarding filmmaking. And even though they are busy in their respective, someone is in chemical engineering, someone is doing literature, but they are still so keen on learning the craft of filmmaking.
That even though this is an engineering college per se and you do film as like an extracurricular activity, the kind of interest and the kind of insight that you seem to have in the art form is exemplary.
So, as we all know that there has been an exponential increase in the popularity of web series over traditional films. So, what is the major difference in these two fields?
Web series and traditional film, I think the lines are getting blurred. I think film is now just standing alone for story. People just callously or very conveniently say that content is king, but now it's actually showing. So it doesn't really matter whether it's a web series or a traditional or a hybrid. I think the lines are blurred. People just want stories they can resonate with, they can learn from, and that's about it. That's what a film should be, rather than categorizing it or classifying it.
So every year the Film and Media Council organizes this FMC Weekend with the main aim to promote digital arts among the students.
Right.
What were your views about this event?
Like we said, it was absolutely fantastic. It was so great to meet a bunch of people, especially the youth, who are so in tune. They're very aware, they're very focused, and I was very pleasantly surprised for a bunch of students who are not film school oriented. We're very, very, very pleasantly surprised to have met these people and to have had this screening and this Q&A.